So we are now in one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world. It's Halicarnassus Mausoleum. First, let's name this other 6. There are 2 of them in Turkey. One of them is this Halicarnassus Mausoleum, which is actually a monumental tomb. Today we call the monumental tombs as mausoleum, and it actually comes from the name of this king. His full name is Halicarnassus Mausoleum. It was his last name, and because this was the most beautiful monumental tomb, it started to be called that mausoleum after his name. So Turkey has 2 of the 7 ancient wonders. One of them is this. The second one is Artemis Temple, which we'll see the day after, tomorrow, in Artemis Temple. So we have Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the statue of Zeus at Olympia, and then Colossus of Rhodes, then Alexandria Lighthouse, and the pyramid in Egypt. Although the Egypt pyramid, Cheops pyramid, is the oldest one, it is the only one remaining. Unfortunately, all the other 6 is fallen down. This is one of them. The reason for falling down is the earthquake here. There was a big earthquake, destructed this, and it was not restored again. So this was a satrapy of Persians, and later on Halicarnassus the king, after his father's death, he took over the kingdom, and he ruled for about 23 years with his wife. After his death, in the 4th century BC, about exactly 377 BC, his wife, after his name, she wanted to commemorate him so much, and she was actually the sister of him. In the Karya world, in the past, it was a tradition, they used to marry their sisters. So the king married to his sister, and after his death, his sister, his wife at the same time, built this mausoleum for him in 377 BC. But she wanted to have it so beautiful, so she called a lot of architectures from different places, from Greece especially, because Halicarnassus was raised with a Greek culture, we can say, and he wanted to have a Greek architecture in his city. That's why the mausoleum also has the influence of Greek architecture, Egyptian architecture, and also Lydian architecture. It's 3 mixed architectures in one building. That's why it's also very beautiful. It's got like Greek columns. It had a roof like a pyramid style. That's why it's different. 3 in 1, we can say. And after the death of Halicarnassus, the people in Rhodos island nearby heard that, and they wanted to take over this city, and they came with their ships. But smart wife of Halicarnass hid her ships somewhere. When the Rhodos ships came in, her ships came behind and surrounded them, and she went back to Rhodos with the ships and took over there as well. About 2nd, 4th, 5th century there were earthquakes, but mainly around 15th century there was a big earthquake, destructed this. Before the 15th century this was still standing. We know it from the writings of the ancient travelers. Like one of them is Turkish. He's called Evliya Çelebi. He's been here too, and he said this was all standing, but afterwards, because of the earthquake, unfortunately, it was destructed. Columns all fell down, and here is what we have from that ancient wonder.